Fusion has often been described as the ultimate energy breakthrough. Limitless, clean, abundant power that could, in theory, replace all other energy sources. Headlines paint it as the final solution to global energy demand, the silver bullet for climate change, and the technology that will finally free humanity from fossil fuels. But the idea that fusion will replace solar, wind, hydrogen, and the broader electrification movement misunderstands the real shape of the future energy system. The future will not be dominated by a single source. Instead, it will be built on a layered, interconnected ecosystem where fusion acts as one powerful component, but not the component that makes everything else obsolete. Solar and wind will remain the cheapest and most widespread forms of electricity. Hydrogen will become the backbone of industrial fuel and long-duration storage. Tesla will continue driving global electrification, battery storage, and grid flexibility. And Plug Power will grow into a key supplier for the hydrogen economy, enabling developers to integrate hydrogen systems into industries worldwide. Everything, fusion, hydrogen, solar, wind, batteries, Tesla, and Plug Power, plays a role because each solves a different problem. The future energy system is not a battle, it's a balance. To understand why fusion will not replace renewables or hydrogen, we must first understand the logic of energy systems. Energy isn't just about producing electrons, it's about matching the right energy source to the right use case. Different industries require different formats of energy. Electricity for homes and vehicles, heat for manufacturing, molecules for chemical processes, and long-duration storage to stabilize the grid across seasons. There is no single technology that can satisfy all of these needs alone. Solar and wind offer ultra-low-cost electricity but vary with the weather. Hydrogen offers density and flexibility but requires electricity to produce. Batteries offer fast response but short duration. Fusion offers stability and abundance, but it will be centralized, expensive, and slow to deploy. The idea that one solution can wipe out the others ignores these realities. Instead, the real future is a dynamic ecosystem where fusion strengthens renewables, hydrogen complements electrification, and companies like Tesla and Plug Power create the technologies that tie the system together. Solar and wind have already achieved a level of dominance that even fusion cannot displace. They are now the cheapest form of new electricity generation in most of the world. Their cost declines have outpaced every prediction. Solar PV costs have dropped by more than 85% in the past decade, while wind has undergone similarly dramatic reductions. More importantly, they scale faster than any other energy source in history. A solar farm can be built in months and wind farms in a year or two. Fusion plants, once commercially viable, will take many years to construct, require enormous capital, and be located in specific regions. Even if fusion achieves grid parity, solar and wind will still dominate because they are simply too cheap and too fast to lose their position as the backbone of global electricity. And the more solar and wind the world builds, the more hydrogen we will naturally produce, because electrolyzers thrive on excess renewable electricity. This is where hydrogen becomes essential. Hydrogen is the missing molecule of the energy transition, the flexibility tool renewables need to become a year-round, 24/7 backbone. While batteries are excellent for short-duration balancing, they cannot store months of energy. Hydrogen can. When renewables generate more power than the grid requires, electrolyzers convert that excess into hydrogen. That hydrogen can be stored seasonally and used later to fire turbines, heat industrial processes, power fuel cells, or create ammonia. Hydrogen fills the time gaps that batteries and renewables cannot. Even if fusion becomes viable, hydrogen will still be required for hard-to-electrify sectors like steel, shipping, aviation, fertilizers, and high-temperature manufacturing. Fusion cannot decarbonize these industries alone because they don't run on electricity. They run on molecules. Hydrogen will continue to serve as the industrial backbone of the clean economy. Fusion also cannot replace hydrogen in long-duration storage applications. Imagine a world where fusion plants supply continuous energy, but grids still need ways to store large amounts of energy for seasonal variations, regional bottlenecks, or off-grid applications. Hydrogen will remain vital for this purpose. Fusion may provide baseload, but baseload is not the same as flexibility. A global energy system needs both. Fusion addresses reliability. Hydrogen addresses storage and fuel. Solar and wind address scalability and cost. The idea that one can eliminate the need for the others misunderstands how energy systems work. Tesla's role further reinforces this coexistence. Tesla is the global leader in electrification through electric vehicles, battery storage, software-defined energy systems, and grid-scale megapacks. Tesla's dominance ensures that electricity, especially renewable electricity, continues to replace fossil fuels in transportation and buildings. But Tesla's empire is built on battery storage, not baseload generation. Batteries respond instantly, stabilize the grid, absorb surplus solar, and reduce curtailment. Tesla accelerates renewable penetration, not replaces it. Even in a world with fusion, Tesla's storage technologies will be required to handle transient variability, load balancing, and high-frequency grid adjustments. Fusion reactors will not react fast enough to the millisecond-scale demands of modern grids. Batteries will continue to serve that role, and Tesla will continue driving electrification and storage long into the future. Moreover, Tesla's energy products, solar roofs, power walls, power packs, and megapacks tie directly into the solar hydrogen battery ecosystem. Tesla builds the electron layer of the future: mobility, storage, consumer energy, AI-driven grid operations, and high-density battery systems. These technologies rely on cheap renewable electrons, not fusion. Even if fusion arrives, Tesla's electrification infrastructure will remain essential because energy cannot rely solely on centralized baseload. Distributed systems increase resilience, reduce transmission bottlenecks, and localize power production. Fusion will not eliminate the need for solar panels on rooftops or megapack stabilizing wind farms. Plug power plays a parallel role, but in molecules rather than electrons. As hydrogen demand grows, electrolyzer manufacturers like Plug Power become the backbone suppliers for hydrogen developers worldwide. Plug Power is shifting from owning hydrogen plants to becoming a technology provider for electrolyzers and fuel cell systems. This shift perfectly aligns with the future energy ecosystem. Hydrogen producers can use Plug Power's technology to convert renewable electricity into hydrogen. Hydrogen users, from industrial plants to mobility fleets, can integrate Plug Power's fuel cell systems to replace combustion engines. As hydrogen expands across industrial sectors, developers will rely on OEMs like Plug Power to provide modular, scalable, cost-optimized hydrogen systems. Fusion does not replace this demand, it increases it. The more abundant electricity becomes through fusion, the more hydrogen can be produced for industrial and long-duration uses. Fusion will not eliminate Plug Power's role, it will strengthen it. Even the idea that fusion will outcompete solar and wind is flawed. Energy systems are not decided purely by technological supremacy. They are decided by economics, infrastructure, policies, geography, and use cases. Solar has a geographical advantage. Sunlight falls everywhere. Wind has a temporal advantage. Wind patterns often peak when solar declines. Hydrogen has a storage advantage. It can be produced anywhere electricity is cheap and stored for months. Fusion, on the other hand, will be centralized, capital-intensive, high security, and slow to deploy. It will complement rather than compete. It will serve industrial baseload, urban demand centers, and high-load applications like data centers. But solar and wind will continue to supply the majority of global electricity. Hydrogen will continue supplying industrial molecules. Tesla will continue electrifying transport and storage. Plug Power will continue providing hydrogen technology to developers. Imagine a world where fusion plants provide a stable 24/7 backbone. Solar and wind provide massive amounts of cheap daytime and seasonal electricity. Hydrogen plants capture excess electricity, whether from renewables or fusion, and convert it into stable chemical energy. Tesla batteries support grid flexibility, and EVs decarbonize transport. Plug Power enables industrial hydrogen adoption. These systems do not compete, they interlock. The future is not an energy revolution, but an energy integration. Fusion will play its role, but it will not replace solar and hydrogen. Solar will dominate due to cost and speed. Hydrogen will dominate industrial decarbonization. Batteries will dominate short-duration flexibility. Fusion will dominate high-density baseload. Tesla will dominate electrification. Plug power will dominate hydrogen technology supply. The real future mix is a resilient, multi-layered energy stack built not around the supremacy of one technology, but around the synergy of many. If humanity is going to fully decarbonize, we need all of them. Fusion is coming, but solar and hydrogen are already here and growing faster than ever. The future belongs to the systems that work together,